Greetings of the day. In today's video of business finance, we will move further in the last theoretical portion that would be related with the advantages and disadvantages of working capital. Whereas what are the determinants of working capital, and last one would be the operating cycle. Now we will start with the advantages of working capital. We would see what could be the possible advantages of having adequate working capital with the business. The very first advantage is it's allow flexibility to the what we can say business with regard to performance of its activity, particularly production and selling activity. It gives us entire flexibility as business is provided with the funds for day-to-day working. They can opt for various kind of what we can say options of purchasing what we can say raw material, holding raw material for a longer tenure, whereas at the same time they can also opt for we can say of having what we stock of finished goods at the for the purpose of holding at the time period when there is what we can say market is quite slack or there is less sale. The business can withhold its stock with the use of working capital. Second thing can be or second advantage would be medium term option for the purpose of holding raw material when they are available at cheap prices. The business can opt for the option only by having an adequate amount of working capital, which would allow them to take advantage of the situation. As they have to hold that raw material for quite a longer period than usual, that could be only possible by having an adequate amount of working capital with them. That would serve as a medium term option for the business. Third thing would be what we can say solvency of the business. We all know that what is solvency. Solvency is the capacity of business to discharge its liabilities in a very proper manner. By working capital, we can say that a business becomes solvent and it can discharge all its day-to-day expenses as well as liability quite easily, as working capital allows them for the payment of expenses as well as all other things. That is why working capital helps in maintaining the solvency of the business. Next thing is the easy loans. We all know that at every point of time business need finance from external sources also, so that they could survive and they could what we can say operate on day-to-day basis. By the help of proper working capital management, we can say that business can opt for loan from banks very easily as compared to the other situation when the business is not having an adequate amount of working capital. As they are financing their activities by way of working capital, they can easily go for loans from the banks or any other financial institution, and they would also provide them because business is what we can say the balance sheet of the business or the financials of the business are very strong and they are showing a good record of the production activities, good record of the payment of the expenses or the liabilities of the business. Next thing is the regular supply of the business raw materials in the business. For the purpose of production, the main requirement would be of the raw material. With the help of working capital, a business can opt for the raw material on regular basis and there would not be any kind of break in its production activity. For that purpose, they would require a raw material in stock also and as well as for regular production also. Working capital allows business to have raw material in stock in abundance according to the needs of the business. That is why working capital is necessary. Last one would be quick and regular return on investment. We usually see that whatever investment we make, we need a return on it. By making an investment in the business as well as working capital, we can easily get regular return from it because the production activity or the production as well as selling activity are carried out evenly throughout the year or throughout the period of the time. That is why it maintains the what we can say return proportion in the business. Next thing would be the disadvantages associated with not having an adequate amount of working capital in the business. It can be through excessive or inadequate. both can be the criteria for determining the disadvantages of working capital in the business. The very first can be no proper rate of return on investment. In case suppose that a business is having an excessive amount of what we can say working capital, they would be quite there would be quite possibility that there would not be any kind of adequate return on the investment by the business. It would hamper their day-to-day working, and it would reduce the rate of return, as the cycle would be break in the business. That again is not helpful for the business. Second thing can be higher amount of bad debt, as the business is having an excessive amount of working capital. It would impact business negatively, as we became very lethargic or we became very lazy for the purpose of having the things in proper manner. We can see that if a business is having an excessive amount of working capital, they would follow a loose credit policy to its customers, and this would result in the delay in the payment. And even though many customers may turn bad, in that case also that is again a disadvantage. Next can be more waste, theft or losses of inventory. Excessive working capital attracts the situation where there can be more stock with the or inventory with the business. It would result in the more waste. There can be the possibility that theft and losses can be happening in the business, which would ultimately impact the what we can say the businesses in the long term. Next thing is the overall inefficiency is created in the business, as we can see that we have a wrong credit policy, we are not generating proper return, even though there are malpractices or mischievous activities of theft of inventories or wastage of inventories. All these things would create inefficiency in our human resources, and even though our production manager and else managerial level employees would also may turn inefficient due to this kind of situation. Then it can be increase in the speculative transactions. Usually what things happen when we have an excessive amount of funds available in the business in form of working capital, we can turn into our production activity into speculative, or holding capacity into speculative activities, and which is not good for business, as the speculation is not desired in any kind of business or in its activities. So there would be chances of more speculative type transactions in the businesses. Next thing can be it impact on the profitability. We can see that there are inefficiencies in the credit policies, staff is becoming inefficient, losses is increasing because of theft and wastages, and what we can say our customers are turning bad. All these things would result in the impact on our profit. There would be an effect on our profitability. It reduces our profit, and on the larger note it would what we can say impact our profit and loss account as well as our balance sheet negatively. Then as there is in reduction in the profit, next could be a possibility that it would dissatisfy the shareholders, or there would be dissatisfaction among several shareholders. Why there would be dissatisfaction? Because shareholders would feel that the company is now, or the business is not generating adequate amount of profit as compared to its competitors. There would be less chances that company would be giving adequate amount of dividend to its shareholders. Next thing can be last point, unnecessary stockpiling. Stockpiling means accumulation of the stock. As the business are available with the large amount of funds, they could be in the position to hold larger quantities of stock, which is not desired in the business, because storing of unnecessary stock can lead to wastage, can lead to what we can say spoiling of the stock or damage to the stock. Even though stock can become outdated, if it is a perishable item, it can get what we can say, there is a danger that stock would be not useful for the production activities, even though it has effect on the quality of the it has impact on the quality of the particular raw material. Next thing would be determinant of working capital. When we speak of determinant of working capital, we have to see how the working capital can be determined by any kind of business. How how we can determine the quantity of the working capital required for a business. It is also known as factor affecting the working capital need. It means that which are the factors which are responsible for determining the working capital for the business. The very first factor can be the nature of the business. What is the nature of the business? How we can what is our production activities? How is our business performing? That is the very first thing. Second thing can be what is the what we can say production cycle. Production cycle is the another thing which can impact our business. How is the production cycle is impacting our business? We will discuss in the operating cycle. The production cycle is another thing which impacts our business. Next thing is the size of the business. Size of the business has again impact on the determination of the working capital. As we can see that if a business is of large scale, it would require the huge amount of working capital for the purpose of the production. On the contrary, if a business is of what we can say small size, it would require less amount of working capital. Then is the nature of the what we can say product or service. What is our product, what is our services is also having an impact on the determination of the working capital requirement. Next thing can be what we can say seasonal nature. If a business is having a seasonal nature, it has again important factor. It is also an important factor for determining the working capital requirement for a business, because if a particular product, for example, we can take anything, we can take example of woolen clothes. It has a seasonal requirement, particularly in winter. That is why there would be large requirement of working capital in the winter season for holding in the rainy season for holding the stock and for the purpose of production of the woolen clothes. That can be again is a factor for impacting our working capital requirement. Similarly, we can say that operating cycle is another thing which has impact, or the production cycle is the another thing which has impact on the working capital requirement of the business, because as the production cycle is if of large period, definitely the funds would be accumulated in the larger portion of the period in the raw material, works in progress and finished goods. Whereas if the production cycle is of less period, definitely our realization would be less and working capital requirement would be less. Next thing is the credit policy. The credit policy refers to the customer. What is the credit period we have allowed to customer? If suppose the business transactions or the selling is made on the cash basis, definitely the working capital requirement would be less as compared to the credit period allowed to the customer. Usually a credit period is allowed, then there would be requirement of working capital as our funds are blocked in that credit period. Similarly, another thing can be the credit period offered by supplier. Suppose that if a supplier is offering a good credit period of for say of 20 days, it means that we have to make, if suppose we have purchased a goods today, we have to make payment after 20 days. Hence we would enjoy 20 days credit period, which would help us to reduce our working capital requirement. Or if suppose that if there is another business which has to make payment of their purchases immediately, at that point of time they would require huge working capital because they are not having any kind of credit facility from their supplier. That is another thing, or that is another factor which is responsible for working capital requirement. Next thing can be the, we can say, the economic phase, or we can say the scenario of the economy. If suppose that economy is having a good period, that is boom period, definitely the turnover, the sales of the business would be good as compared to the other situation. And here we can see that in the good period the turnover is quite good, hence the business would realize all its stock. But in case the economy is suffering and there is a stagnation period, or we can say that there is a period where what we can say depression is coming, definitely the company has to hold its stock for the longer tenure, which would impact its working capital because their funds are blocked in that stock and they are not able to continue with the production activity. Hence, they are required to hold that stock, and for that purpose, they would require the more amount of working capital. Hence, the phase of economy is also an important criteria for the purpose of determination of the working capital. Another thing can be the dividend policy adopted by the company. If usually company has to pay dividend in the cash amount out of their profit, and that portion of the profit is usually what we can say is utilized in the working capital. Hence, the company has to pay that portion of dividend in form of cash from this working capital. Hence, the policy which is followed by the company for the purpose of distributing the dividend is also a factor important for determining the working capital requirement of the company. Next thing can be the taxation policies in the what we can say that particular economic zone or that particular economy. The taxation has also an heavy impact on the working capital because the taxation is usually to be paid from every businesses to its what we can say country or to its authorities, and usually taxes paid into the form of cash, and that has again impact on the working capital requirement. This was for the determinants of the working capital requirement. Next thing we would discuss would be the operating cycle. It is also known as the production cycle or cash cycle. Usually we can say that the current asset change from one form to another form, and the cash we can say that first of all we have a cash. By having that cash we procure our raw material, we purchases our raw material, hence our cash is converted into stock of raw material. That raw material is again used in the production, and it's during the production it is converted from raw material to works in progress. After that, that works in progress stock is again converted into the finished goods. That finished goods is usually with us in our stock, and as and when we sell that finished good, it is converted from finished goods to the if suppose sale is made in cash, then it is okay, we would again receive cash and the cycle would be repeated. If sale is made in credit, that credit would turn into debtors, and debtors are created, and that debtors would pay after a fixed period to us cash, and that receivables are to be collected. And again this cash would be used for purchase of raw material, converting it into works in progress, and the production cycle or operating cycle goes on. So the time gap between production and actual realization of the cash is usually called as operating cycle, or we can say that the duration required or the time required to complete the sequence of events right from purchase of raw material to realization of cash from debtors is usually called as operating cycle or working capital cycle. It is the length of the operating cycle. If the length of the operating cycle is more, definitely the working capital requirement would be more, and vice versa. We have discussed just right now in the determinant of the working cycle, working capital, that if there is what we can say production cycle is bigger, the higher would be the amount of working capital requirement, and vice versa. So what is operating cycle? It is just conversion of cash to debtors into various forms. Suppose that we would have cash, we would make purchases. These purchases would be made for raw material. This raw material would again be converted into works in progress by way of production. The stock is converted into works in progress. Again, the goods are further produced and they are converted into finished goods. This finished goods is again converted into debtors, and these debtors are converted into cash. This is known as what we can say operating cycle or cycle, working capital cycle, production cycle, whatever would be the name. Sometimes finished goods is directly converted into cash by way of what we can say making the cash sale. These are again converted into cash. This can be the two possibility by which we can say our operating cycle work. Cash, we have initially the cash, we by way of purchase it is converted into raw material, by production it is converted into works in progress, by again further producing it they are converted into finished goods, and sale is made. If cash sale is made, again we would repeat the cycle. If suppose credit sale is made, we would write it here credit sales, so better understanding would be there. If credit sale is made, it is again converted into debtors, and after the realization of the debtors we would get our cash, and that is again used for the purpose of production, and this cycle goes on repeating. But suppose if the length of cycle is more, we could take an example. It will require 5 days to purchase, 10 days to convert it into works in progress, 15 days into what we can say finished goods, and 15 days again for the purpose of debtors creation, and we have allowed a credit period of 30 days to debtors. This is our a short cycle. So total of the cycle would be 5, 15, 15, 30, 45 and 30. In situation 1, what is our what we can say total number of days required? 45 plus 30, 75 days. This is our first requirement for the purpose of what we can say working capital. Now in the second one we can say that again we would require 5 days. Here again 5 days to convert in works in progress, 10 days for the purpose of what we can say conversion in finished goods. Next 5 days for turning into debtor, and we have allowed only 10 days for the purpose of to the debtors to what we can say realization of the debtors. Now we will make total 5 plus 5, 10, 20, 25 and 10. 35 days are required in the case 2. In case 1 definitely we would have blocked our funds for 75 days, and in case second we have blocked only our funds for what we can say 35 days. Hence we would require less amount of working capital, because in 35 days we would realize our fund, and hence we would be requiring less amount of funds. This is what is the concept of what we can say operating cycle. Usually what happens, the reduction in the period of operating cycle will improve the cash conversion cycle and ultimately improve the profitability of the firm, because here we are making turnover of the funds very quickly, and hence there would be more profitable situation. The net duration of operating cycle is calculating by the number of days involved in the different stages of production, commencement from purchase of raw material ending with the realization of debtors, after adjusting number of days allowed by the supplier. This is what is our what we can say calculation of net operating cycle. This was for this lecture. In the next lecture we will look towards the numerical portion of the working capital management. Until then, stay tuned. Thank you.